I got the green paper, and what it basically said, responses to common concern, and it said, dear applicants, this is to inform you that you have been found ineligible for a non-immigrant visa under section 214B of
I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place. Cause the love you give, it can't be replaced. There's no one else knows what to do. That's why I don't mind spending my life with you.
Hi YouTube, welcome back to Rosa channel, and for those of you who are new here, then welcome. In this video I will be sharing my story of how I applied to the US Embassy in Jamaica for a visiting visa and got refused. Disclaimer, before I go any further, I'll be telling the story just as though it is and unbiased as much as possible. So without further ado guys, let's get right into the video. So it all started in December 2021 when I decided to apply with a very well-known company for my US visiting visa. So I was going to apply myself, but then I realized that it was just a lot of reading and I didn't want to miss anything. So I decided, you know what, I'm just going to apply with the company and done. So that's exactly what I did. I filled out the form, sent it to them, paid the relevant fees, etc. And the date was set for sometime in, I think it was May-June 2023. However, I got an email probably a month or so after, I don't remember, sometime after, to say that my appointment has been rescheduled to November 22, 2022 at 7:30 a.m. So I was like, okay, so I applied in 2021, got a date for 2023, then it was rescheduled back to 2022. However, I was in no rush. I wasn't thinking of canceling the appointment and rescheduling for a later date, but I decided it's whatever, I'm just going to leave it at the date that it is. Anyways, fast forward to the time of the interview. Wait, is there anything that happened between the interview? Not really. I was still going to school and all of that great stuff. So fast forward to the time of the interview. I printed the document the day before. That is the confirmation page and the instruction that they asked you to bring. They also want you to bring a passport size photograph and your passport that should be valid for travel to the US in the event that they decide to give you a visa, right? So those are the necessary documents. But I just brought some other stuff I had in case they wanted it, like birth paper and stuff like that, because I've never been, so I don't know what they need. So I just decided to, you know what, sorry, I'm going to bring these documents along with me. So I brought those documents along with me and went to the US Embassy that morning. So they don't exactly provide parking, so you have to like park somewhere, and I was advised that you have to pay for the parking, so it was $1,000 for the hours I was at the embassy. Anyways, so I went to the embassy. I saw a few, like a good amount of persons. Like the line was very long. A lot of persons were like in the middle of the road, and a lot of persons were like in the line to go to the embassy. So they were like, persons with 7 o'clock and 7:30 appointments, please join the line. So persons with 7 o'clock appointments, they made a line on the right hand side to the entrance to go into the embassy, and persons with 7:30 on the left hand side. So the persons with the 7 o'clock appointment, at about 8 o'clock they were ushered inside. But before being ushered inside, here's what was done. So I know that this was done because on my side of the line they came and they did this. So basically somebody will come and ask you for your name, you'll give that to them, and they will check to make sure that you actually have an appointment for that day. Then they'll sign your paper and write the time on it. Then somebody will also come back and glue your passport size photo, regardless if it's on your instructions or confirmation page or not. They'll glue that onto your your confirmation page, and they do that to go all the way down the line. Anyways, so I was in that line for what felt like 45 minutes. So after the first set of persons were ushered in, the 7:30 persons were ushered in bit by bit. They also advised us while we were standing in the line that you're not allowed to bring cell phones into the US Embassy. You're not allowed to bring any eating or any face powder or any electronics or pen or anything like that. No food, not even face powder, anything like that of the sort. I guess you can get more information about this on their website. So like I made the disclaimer in the beginning, I'm just telling you guys as it was, as unbiased as possible. Anyway, so upon entering the embassy, they asked to place your documents in a tray, to remove your watches and your belts and place them in a tray. They were passed on the scanner, and you also had to walk through what I think was a metal detector machine. So you walked through that, then you had to quickly pick up your items and proceed through the exit door. And then once I went outside, I made a quick stop. Right, so once I went outside, I made a quick stop to like put some on my belt and my watch and stuff like that, and then you had to join another line for somebody to put something on the back of your passport. Let me look for that for you guys. Anyways guys, I found the passport, but before I got back to this, right, so upon joining that line, I was in that line for like another 45 minutes. So basically you're in the line, and then they'd be like, whoever is filing or going away to live, please come to the front of the line. If a person had a child, they were also given priority. So you know, I don't know, maybe kids get restless, so they wanted to get them out as soon as possible. Also, if you're an American citizen, you don't need to join the line because hey, that's the embassy for you in the country, so you just go up, which is understandable. Anyways, so after what felt like an eternity, I finally reached the front of the line. I went up and they printed the sticker and pasted onto the back of my passport. There you go. Yeah, after they pasted that, they told me to have a seat in one of two rows, which was the front row, because you know they're sending in persons in that order. So I sat in that seat. The wait there wasn't that long, probably was like about 20 minutes compared to the other waiting time. So after that, I went inside and joined a very fast moving line. So when you join that line, what they basically do is let you wait your turn, then you go up to a counter. It's like a mini interview where they take your fingerprint. They take the first 4 fingers of the left hand, first you take the 4 fingers on the left hand on the scanner, then the 4 fingers of the right hand, and then your 2 thumbs. So after they did that, if it wasn't scanned properly, they'll probably ask you to repeat one of your hands or whatever. While doing that, they also ask you what is your purpose of wanting, what is your reason for wanting to visit the US, and you just give your answer. After that, you were sent to sit down and wait on your turn to join another line, you know, so that the queue doesn't get too long. That was not a long wait right there either. So when I reached that line, there were persons conducting the interview. So basically you had like consular officers behind some very huge glass windows, and you went and stand at the counter. They take your passport and they ask you questions. So I was in the line, and they basically like had persons stand up behind other persons being interviewed, so that after the person is finished, you can go ahead. So right, I was observing this person's interview, this guy, and they basically asked him like, have you ever been to the US? And he said he'd been to Canada on farm work, and whoever is in the US for him, and they asked him why he was going. He said that he was going for Christmas holiday. They gave him a white paper, and seeing he got his visa, he walked away happy. Everybody else after him got a green paper that mean that their visa for the visit to the US was denied. Also, the person conducting my interview, he was a guy, and he was doing the interviews at the speed of lightning in my point of view. So other persons were still interviewing when I went up. Like, they were interviewing before me, and after I left, they were still at their interviewing, at their consular officer being interviewed, right? So when I went up to the consular officer, he said, Miss Parks, can I have your passport please? I handed it to him under the little cutter part right there on the glass window. He opened it, and he told me to put my 4 fingers of my right hand on the thingy. I guess it wasn't scanned properly, so he just went ahead and scanned that over. Right, so once he went ahead and scanned that, he started asking me questions, and I felt like my interview only lasted for 2 seconds, right? Because after that 2 seconds, I got a green paper. But anyways, here's how it went down. So he asked the first question, Miss Sparks, who are you going to visit in the US? And I answered the question. He then asked, I see you were attending school. Are you still in school or are you graduated? I told him that I graduated from school. He then proceeded to ask, who paid for your tuition to go to school? I then answered him, and then he said, where do you work and how long have you been working there? I answered him, and then he was like, basically he was like, you know what, based on the information provided, you do not meet the requirements for this type of visa, but that doesn't mean you're not eligible to apply again in the future. Then he gave me this piece of green paper, and I just felt like the interview was over in the blink of an eye. So I said, okay, thank you, and I took up the green paper, and I was trying to take my passport, but it just wouldn't come up. And then I finally got it, and I just left. Like, I just felt like it was a waste of money and time. Like I had to take time off from work to go to do this interview, so I just felt like it was a waste of money and time. I just felt like they were asking me questions, and then in the middle of the day they were like, hey, you know what, we already know we're not giving her this visa, so let's not ask her any more questions. We're just going to, you know, stop it right here. So that's how I felt. Like the interview was just quick, because other persons, like I said, were being interviewed before I went to this person, and other persons were still being interviewed after I left. So that's how I felt in my case. Anyways, I must also mention that there was this other older lady before me. I feel really bad for her because she was denied like very quickly. Like she said that she wanted to go visit somebody in the US or something, because like she haven't seen them in a long time, and she was denied. And she said, okay, thank you sir, or whatever, you know how Jamaicans speak sometime. Excuse. Anyways, when I went out, my thing finished approximately. I wrote down some information here because, like I said, I want to tell how it happened. Like I don't want to try to be remembering anything and be giving misinformation. So I had a 7:30 interview time, and I went there from like probably like a little bit to 7, probably like 6:50, 6:52. And I left about 10:45 thereabouts. When I finished my interview, I just left. Like I found my way out and I left. On the sidewalk, I saw the same lady that they refused her interview, and they were on the phone. She was on the phone with another person, and the person was telling them how her visa was refused. And I feel really bad for her. I mean, I didn't expect to get mine, so I don't know. I just felt bad that she didn't get hers, because I feel like they could have given it to her, but I don't know why they didn't give it to her. But I don't know what are the criteria, or what are the determinants in determining who gets a US visiting visa or not. Anyway, so that is my story of how I went to the US embassy for a visiting visa and got denied. So yeah, that is my story. So yeah, I got the green paper, and what it basically said, responses to common concern, and it said, dear applicants, this is to inform you that you have been found ineligible for a non-immigrant visa under section 214B of the US Immigration and Nationality Act. A denial under section 214B means that you are not able to demonstrate that your intended activities in the US will be consistent with the classification of the non-immigrant visa for which you applied. I don't know how I demonstrated that, but basically that's what they said. So I didn't get a visa, and you know, it continues. And then they say the consular officer's decision is final, is not appealable. Not that I had any intent to appeal. The officer who refused your visa is trained to evaluate each application quickly but thoroughly. I don't see how my questions, like the questions they asked me, was thorough, but that's what they say. So it's neither here nor there. At the end of the day, it's night. Anyways, so because I went there with no expectations, when I came out I didn't feel sad or anything. But don't get me wrong, if I was successful in my application, then of course I would have been happy. But it's just sad that I took time off from work to go there, and it's just sad that I stood in the line for so long just to be refused. I also saw my friend there, and she said that she got refused. Like somebody from high school that I know, she also got refused. So basically they're saying that we don't have any ties to the country, and we're young and probably look for runway. I don't know. Not that we have any intention of doing that, but anyways, at the end of the day, tonight. Additionally, guys, to my loyal subscribers and to those of you who are new, I hope I'm not talking too loud. Not too loud. So what's that called? Fast. I always say, guys, please don't forget to like my video, to comment on the video, and to subscribe. Guys, please remember to share the video, because like I lost like 99% of my contacts because I changed my number, and it's just, I don't know, it's just hard to be texting everybody again to say, hey, this is my new number. So I can't share the video as much as I would. So I'm just please asking you guys that you share my video on my road to 1,000 subscribers. I know it's very far-fetched because I only have like 140 right now, but guys, please remember to subscribe to the video, to like the videos, and to share them, and I promise you that you will not regret this decision. Also, drop in the comment section down below what you'd like to see me do in my next video. And thank you guys so much again for watching, and stay tuned.